on this edition for Saturday, March 20th.
No more hate!
Obviously, what happened in Atlanta is a hate crime. He was targeting Asian women because of the way they made him feel.
Calls for unity against Asian American hate crimes. In our signature segment, after a decade of war, the Syrian refugee crisis intensifies. And parenting during a pandemic. Some tips to try at home. Next on PBS NewsHour Weekend.
PBS NewsHour Weekend is made possible by Sue and Edgar Wachenheim III, the Anderson Family Fund, Bernard and Denise Schwartz, the Cheryl and Philip Milstein family, Barbara Hope Zuckerberg, the Leonard and Norma Clorfine Foundation, the Peter G. Peterson and Joan Gantz Cooney Fund. We try to live in the moment to not miss what's right in front of us. At Mutual of America, we believe taking care of tomorrow can help you make the most of today. Mutual of America Financial Group, retirement services and investments.
For 25 years, Consumer Cellular's goal has been to provide wireless service that helps people communicate and connect. We offer a variety of no-contract plans, and our U.S.-based customer service team can help find one that fits you. To learn more, visit consumercellular.tv.
Additional support has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. There is an outpouring of support from across the country this weekend for victims of Tuesday's mass shooting in the Atlanta area. In Atlanta, mourners continue to leave flowers and notes at makeshift memorials outside the 3 spas where 6 Asian American women and 2 others were killed. A GoFundMe page set up by one of the victims' sons has raised more than $2.3 million in just over a day. Authorities are still investigating whether the alleged murderer, a 21-year-old white man, will be charged with a hate crime. But the mass shooting and the recent increase of violence against members of the Asian American community since the beginning of the pandemic has led to organized rallies and vigils around the country. Those events honoring the victims in Atlanta and demanding action to stop anti-Asian hate crimes are continuing this weekend. NewsHour Weekend's Laura Fong reports from an event in New York City that took place last night.
No more hate! No more hate!
As the sun set in New York City's Union Square last night, hundreds of people turned out for a vigil in the wake of Tuesday's shooting at 3 Atlanta area spas that killed 8 people. 6 of the victims were Asian women. Joanne Yu, executive director of the Asian American Federation, organized the vigil.
We're here because we all know that our community deserves better. Our workers deserve better. Our mothers, sisters, aunts, and daughters deserve better. We are here standing together because we are sad, we are angry, and we are exhausted by the roller coaster ride of emotions that we've all been dealing with today.
The shooter has been charged with all 8 murders, but local law enforcement says the motive is still under investigation and has not yet ruled out hate crime charges. The mass shooting comes amidst an increase in the number of reported attacks on Asians in the past year. A recent analysis of police data found a nearly 150% increase in anti-Asian hate crimes in 16 major U.S. cities from 2019 to 2020. New York City had the biggest increase, up from just 3 incidents in 2019 to 28 last year. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio blamed former President Trump, who has referred to the coronavirus as the China virus and Kung Flu.
Let's be clear. A terrorism, a fear that has been created, and it emanated from Washington, D.C., and it was state-sponsored. And now, look at the fear, look at the pain in our communities. We must confront it.
Vincent Tang said he appreciated seeing the turnout from people outside Asian American communities.
I needed to see that we have people outside of our community, or others within our community, but of different color, to show their support as well.
I feel heartbroken because as a Muslim American, I know what it feels like to come from a community that is targeted for who you are.
Linda Sarsour, co-founder of the intersectional social justice organization Until Freedom, spoke out in solidarity and wants to see rhetoric backed up by action.
Asian American communities need more than thoughts and prayers. They need action. They need investments in their organizations, in their institutions, in their communities to ensure the safety and security of our Asian communities.
For more on the rise in anti-Asian American crimes, I spoke earlier with Oscar, Golden Globe, Emmy, and Grammy-nominated comedian and actress Margaret Cho. Margaret, what's been going through your mind, your heart in the last few weeks and months as we've seen this escalation of crimes against Asians?
It's really wondering about all of the incidents that are not reported, because I think, at least from my family, we have such a deep well of shame when it comes to racism and how much we don't want to upset other members of our family, of our community, by sharing what happened. I think this practice comes out of PTSD from wartime, and having all of these things occur in your family's history, and then to bring it over here, looking for the American dream, for some kind of escape from all of the trauma that we experienced there, and then to have this new terrible thing, racism, which my family experienced such intense racism coming to San Francisco from Korea in 1964 that they've never discussed. And I think all of these incidents now bring up so much shame, so much heartache, so much past trauma that I'm sure this is so underreported.
Do you think that this is part of why perhaps this community is perceived as more of a soft target? We see more women being targeted than men. We see more elderly people, right? I mean, there's a sort of perception maybe that is fueling this.
It comes from the model minority myth, which I really reject the term model minority, because it really denotes that we are in existence purely for the performative value for white people, and to pit us against other quote unquote minorities. It is really dehumanizing. I've noticed that they're attacking the elderly, they're attacking elderly women. Older Asian American women are being targeted, which, puts me in a very high target category.
The intersection between how we perceive Asian women, sexuality and race, tie that together for us.
It's race and gender and identity. All of these things kind of go into whether or not this is a hate crime. Obviously, what happened in Atlanta is a hate crime. He was targeting Asian women because of the way they made him feel. And also, the way that it was all framed by the Atlanta authorities was very disappointing, in that it was this huge effort to somehow humanize this murderer who had a bad day, who was trying to get some kind of relief for his sex addiction. So there's so much that we have to unpack when we're even looking at this incident from a perspective of the news, even, that we're like allowing them to frame it as a bad day. It's way more than a bad day.
You've got a podcast that starts to look at some of the kind of crimes in history that most of us have maybe forgotten about.
Well, our history as Asian Americans has really been erased from American history. We had a huge influence on the way this country was built, starting with the railroad that connected the East and the West, the North and the South. There have been numerous lynchings, numerous hate crimes against Asians and Asian Americans that we need to discuss. And so I'm doing a podcast called Mortal Minority, which is, we're trying to kill off the idea of a model minority and also look back at the history of what we've experienced.
Yeah. Margaret Cho, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Paris and parts of northern France entered into a partial lockdown today in an effort to slow a third wave of COVID-19 infections there. Many non-essential shops are closed, but schools will remain open and outdoor exercise is still allowed. The restrictions come as the country's confirmed infections have been rising. France recorded 35,000 cases on Thursday, and ICUs in many hospitals are reporting being overwhelmed. In Pakistan, Prime Minister Imran Khan has tested positive for the coronavirus 2 days after receiving his first shot of the vaccine. Khan is now in quarantine at his home with a mild fever. A health official said the Prime Minister likely contracted the virus before the shot. And in Japan, organizers of the Tokyo Olympics announced today that spectators from outside the country would not be allowed to attend this summer's games. About 1 million tickets have already been sold to foreigners, but officials said the risk was too great and refunds would be offered. A long-dormant volcano in Iceland is still spewing lava a day after it erupted in the country's southwest region. The volcano, located in the Reykjanes Peninsula, could be seen from the outskirts of the capital Reykjavik, about 20 miles away. No injuries have been reported, and local officials say the eruption, which is considered small, poses no danger to nearby communities. This is the first volcanic eruption on this peninsula in close to 800 years, and comes after more than 40,000 small earthquakes shook the area in recent weeks. This week marked a decade of conflict in Syria that began after soldiers fired on Arab Spring protesters, killing dozens and sparking a bloody civil war that has left hundreds of thousands dead and has destroyed cities and cultural sites. The conflict has also displaced more than half of the country's residents, and according to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, 2/3 of those are women and children. Special correspondent Layla Milana Allen reports from Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, along the Syrian border, where many refugees have lived in temporary shelters for years.
On the 14th of March 2011, Lebanon's Bekaa Valley was a very different place. Sad Nail was all fruit trees and rolling green fields then, not the white UN tents, now such a distinguishing feature of the horizon. Maria Asi, whose charity Beyond rushed to help, was here as dozens, then hundreds, then thousands of women and children began to tumble over the high mountains that mark Lebanon's border with Syria. Residents welcomed them, giving them temporary shelter in homes, schools, mosques, even half-finished construction sites.
Here, tell me about those early first few days.
You know, for us it's like maybe 1 month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3. What we thought the maximum, maybe it's like 50,000, something like that. It wasn't like it's clear that they will stay for 10 years.
But as Syria's protests and the resulting government crackdown raged on, morphing into a bloody civil war, stay they did. And many more would come. Omar's family was one of the first to arrive.
When we came here, we rented a house from the locals and we stayed with them. We thought we'd be here for a day or two, a week or two, a month, and then we go back.
Hoping to limit the refugee presence here, Lebanon's government never allowed formal camps to be built. Despite having lived in them for years, refugees who live in tents aren't allowed to build anything permanent. In 2019, the government decided tents breaking the rules must be torn down, and started with the border town of Arsal.
We saw the army coming with its trucks. It demolished our neighbor's house. We were afraid, so we emptied out of our house and let them do whatever they want.
So all this, she's telling me, it used to be a stone wall up to the top, and they were forced to knock it all the way down. Now all of this is just wood and tarpaulin. It's plastic, and she says it's very cold in the winter and very hot in the summer.
The Lebanese government wants the refugees to go back to Syria, and thousands have. But NGOs have serious concerns over the conditions they'll find there. Some return to find they no longer have houses, their former villages decimated. Others report arbitrary arrests by the state or forced military conscription. After their tents were knocked down, some here decided to go back. But Omar had already tried that a few years before, after things became too tough in Lebanon. She went back to Kamishli with her daughters for 2 years, but it was even tougher there. There was no work, and her husband couldn't go back with them because he feared being forced into the army. Eventually, they snuck back into Lebanon via a smuggling route. Despite the instability they face, Syrians have become a part of these communities. They live here, and they die here too. This small, unofficial graveyard in the tribal village of Faour holds the bodies of some 1,000 Syrians. Many of the graves here, paid for by local Lebanese residents, are just a couple of feet long, holding the bodies of children who died of cold and lack of food in those early, chaotic days of the Exodus. The UN estimates more than 6.5 million Syrians have fled the country since the conflict began.
More than 1 million came here to Lebanon, and no one knows exactly how many are still here. Many of them have been living here for nearly a decade, but with little chance that they'll get more rights or citizenship. They face a choice between attempting the dangerous journey back home or staying here living in limbo.
We're just 2 miles from the border, but for the Syrians buried here, this is the closest they'll ever get to going home. No one has an exact figure because in 2015, the Lebanese government told the UN to stop registering refugees. At that point, there were 1.2 million. That the government feared if the number went any higher, it would spark public uproar and create a volatile political situation in a country of only 4 million Lebanese. The UN struck a deal. They would stop registering refugees, but could still give them services. But life without that vital document is difficult. They don't have the right to be here and can't apply for it. Every time they go out, they risk being stopped at one of Lebanon's many checkpoints and arrested. And until recently, it was almost impossible to apply for asylum in another country without being registered. They kept coming anyway. While there are now 865,000 registered still living in Lebanon, the government estimates the real number is 1.5 million. And even those who are registered are struggling. In every settlement we went to, we met refugees who told us their UN benefits had recently been cut.
This is Munira's family's registration certificate. They registered 7 years ago and they were getting help. It registers her husband, her and her 4 sons, but she says that help stopped.
We don't even have enough for food. The UN no longer gives us food. How are we going to live? There's no allowance. The tent costs money. The generator does. Electricity does. Everything does.
The UN says it simply cannot afford to support the vast number of people living here.
We currently are only able to reach about 52% with food and monthly cash assistance. We assess whether there are now other refugees who are more in need, which is very difficult to explain to refugees, and we understand the frustration.
The problem is, as Lebanon's economy continues its slow-motion collapse and food prices have tripled, nearly all refugees living in Lebanon are now in desperate need. 90% now live in extreme poverty. The vast majority of refugees I've met over the years say Lebanese civilians have been welcoming and generous to them. But with more than half Lebanon's own population now living in poverty too, they fear that generosity may be reaching its limit. The refugee crisis once dominated international headlines, but the longer they've been here, and the more intractable the conflict has become, the less attention they've received. The UN says the situation is so bad, they've seen a huge increase in calls from refugees contemplating suicide.
I think people think that refugees are the most vulnerable when they first flee their country. The vast majority were not prepared to live years, a number of years in exile, and now they feel that, like they're stuck. So not just their resources are being depleted, but their resilience is depleted.
All the refugees we spoke to said they felt trapped and hopeless. Their situation is more precarious now than it has ever been.
There's no safety at the moment. Even for the Lebanese, there's no security. So what is it like for us, living in a country that isn't our own?
Omar can see Syria from the small plastic window of the makeshift tent she had to rebuild with her bare hands. But it's not home anymore, and neither is here. As far as she's concerned, she no longer has one.
There's little doubt that parenting during a pandemic has been challenging, and even with schools starting to reopen, the disruption to routines and structure has created new anxieties for parents and children alike. I recently spoke with clinical psychologist and parenting consultant Becky Kennedy, whose Instagram page, Dr. Becky at Home, has become a must-read for many families looking for advice. So, Dr. Kennedy, is there a reason why children are having tantrums and outbursts that, well, we just haven't been used to with our own children?
Yes, because kids, first of all, adults too, we act how we feel. And if you think about this period we're in, there's just so much out of control feeling to go around. We're out of control. Things that we thought were predictable aren't. I usually go to school. I usually see my teachers. I always play this with this friend at recess. And then I come home and one of my parents is there. Or both of my parents are there. Neither of my parents are there. We have a cadence. And now every single part of that has changed. kids don't have the same order and feeling of predictability. And what happens in their bodies is their bodies feel out of control. And then the littlest thing, where the banana had an extra brown spot, right? Or the apple, right, isn't red enough, it just spills over the bucket of, this did not go the way I wanted it to go. This did not go the way I thought it was going to go. And then we see meltdowns about these small things, but they really represent the release of all of this unpredictability and out of control feeling.
We are feeling that as parents, as human beings around them all day long. And I guess maybe they're picking up something non-verbally, or maybe they're picking up, the waves, the vibe.
Absolutely. Our kids are experts at sensing their environment. It's actually part of how they've learned to survive, how we've all survived. Kids have to notice what's different, what's the same, what might be a threat. Our young are helpless and are dependent on us for survival for much longer than other animals. And so they really have to notice changes. We can do so much to help kids feel in control, not by changing their life back to however it was pre-COVID, but by explaining all of the changes. So often people say, but my kid's so young. Will they understand that? 100%. No matter how old the kid is, I'll tell a parent, yes, they will. They'll also understand that you're trying to explain something. They have to know, why are they not seeing grandma? Why are they wearing masks? Why is daddy working from home? Why is mommy more upset? Why are mommy and daddy arguing more? The more we actually talk to our kids about these things, then in their environment, our kids can start to feel safe again.
How do you think the pandemic affects our relationship with just our coworkers, other folks, and their children? We now see them in the back of Zooms and running around and screaming and making they've showed up, and it's much harder to ignore that reality when you're thinking about making workplace policies or national policies.
I've noticed kind of this relative binary there. Either it's made them in some ways more dedicated to work. They think my work has become so much more humane, they understand. And then other people saying it's as if my workplace has no idea that my whole life has changed, and that makes me less and less productive. How we feel in our family life has always impacted our productivity in our job. And so I think the workplaces that are really talking about that are actually doing a lot in the workplace. And it's really, really highlighted how important that is. So I'd say a couple things. To me, almost proactively, we can say to our kids every morning, you know what I've been thinking about? It's a really hard time to be and then fill in the blank their age. It's a really hard time to be a 3-year-old. It's really hard to be a 8-year-old.
More of our interview continues both here and online at pbs.org/newshour. I think parents are also concerned about our relationship with technology and how much of that is being absorbed by our kids. How do I say to them, well, you shouldn't be in front of screens so often, because they're going to turn around and say, what are you talking about, hypocrite?
I guess I have a couple thoughts on that. And it kind of actually relates to feeling more in control in your environment. In general, kids do better with things that are said than left unsaid. So when we're on our phones all the time, we think, oh, I'm just going to do this to the side. I'm going to do this under the dinner table. They notice. And we want them to notice. I don't know anyone who says, I hope my kid when they get older doesn't notice the things in their environment. We don't want to train them not to notice. So just even saying, hey, I know this is a disruption and my work is different now than it used to be. And I know that's hard on you. And I know I say not a lot of screen time for you, and you see me doing it. Oh, what a mess. I'm going to finish this email and then I'm going to put my phone over there and at least be here for the next couple of minutes. That makes a huge difference, because it also gives a kid a label to digest an experience versus having to make sense of it themselves. I also think the other thing around our own screen time is we really underestimate the power of however many minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, saying to your kid, I want to have special time with you. And what that means is no screens, but I promise not for me either. Because you're right, we kind of tell ourselves and the people around us what's important by our attention. Our attention tells people our values and what matters. And I think even 15 minutes, even if that feels too much for some parents, 2 minutes saying, my phone is away, it's a crazy day for me at work, but I want to have at least 2 minutes of dedicated, no screen time for either of us and have that together. Kids really, really take in that high quality time.
Dr. Becky Kennedy, clinical psychologist, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's all for this edition of PBS NewsHour Weekend. Happy first day of spring. For the latest news updates, visit pbs.org/newshour. I'm Hari Srinivasan. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy and have a good night.
PBS NewsHour Weekend is made possible by Sue and Edgar Wachenheim III, the Anderson Family Fund, Bernard and Denise Schwartz, the Cheryl and Philip Milstein family, Barbara Hope Zuckerberg, the Leonard and Norma Clorfine Foundation, the Peter G. Peterson and Joan Gantz Cooney Fund. We try to live in the moment to not miss what's right in front of us. At Mutual of America, we believe taking care of tomorrow can help you make the most of today. Mutual of America Financial Group, retirement services and investments. Additional support has been provided by Consumer Cellular and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.